If you spent 30 minutes worrying about something right now, your mind was there, you weren't present, etc. That's 30 minutes you actually could have spent on the solution for whatever you're worrying about. That's 30 minutes you could have spent doing a post to find customers. That's 30 minutes you could have spent creating a business plan. You can spend that 30 minutes worrying and frozen, or you can spend that 30 minutes, right? You catch, oh God, here I'm worrying. I got to shut it off right now and just take some kind of action that I think will lead towards solving whatever I'm worrying about. Now you're going to be able to knock it out of the park.
Welcome, everybody, to the Chris Harder Show, where we are making you unapologetic about your pursuit of success, knowing that when good people like you make good money, they can then do great things. My name is Chris Harder, and several times per week, I will bring you epic guests, solo episodes, and every single tool, trick, and skill set you need to grow your business, grow your money mindset, and to grow your wealth to levels that you have never reached before. I've ended up in a unique place in life where I've got the experience, the connections, and all of the secrets that it takes to be successful. And I'm lifting the curtain to reveal it all to you in an effort to help put you in a position of abundance so great that you can then be as generous as possible. So let's lock arms and let's get started.
And we're back.
With another episode of He Said, She Said.
All right, guys, we just got back from our morning dog walk that we always take. And we always have good conversations. That's the beauty of taking that space, taking that hour to go a few miles, walking the dogs, and having a chance to just talk to each other, not on phones, etc. And we get into good conversations. And the one that we got into today was about worrying. And we're kind of talking about how, she's like, Chris, why don't you tend to worry about stuff as much? Now, don't get me wrong. I worry, but nothing to the magnitude of which Lori worries. And Lori, I know you don't mind me saying, you are a natural worrier. And my mom is a natural worrier. I am not a natural worrier, even though I have worries. And we were talking about how people are built so differently when it comes to worrying or not. Now, here's the thing. The punchline is whether you're a natural worrier or whether you aren't, whatever your predisposition is, it's something that has to be addressed because the amount of time and energy that you are wasting through worry is insane.
So this is something that I work on all of the time because when you're worrying, you're obviously not in an energy of moving forward. You're not in an energy of productivity. And so for me, whenever I'm worrying, I remind myself that whatever I'm worrying about is just such a symptom of me not believing that something will work out. And you're always getting what you are thinking and believing is going to happen. And so whenever I'm worrying, I'm like, oh, this is showing signs of how I am not in faith. And whether you believe in God or universe or law of attraction or whatever you believe, for me, it's like, oh, this is such a sign that I am in my head without understanding or subconsciously thinking that I don't believe that God is going to be able to help me take care of this. And so it reminds me to lean into faith and say, okay, God's got that. As long as I provide the action and as long as I provide space to pray and ask for the answers and the strength, then I'm going to get exactly what I need every single time. He has never failed me before, and it's never failed me to do this. So it's actually, worry has been such an interesting and beautiful lesson for me because it has helped me see where my cracks in my faith are.
I love this. I've got and a real quick I can comment on that. You and I used to always say full-time faith, meaning it's not faith when you have it only when it's convenient.
Exactly.
It's actually only faith when you have it, when it seems like everything's stacked against you and you can't see how it's going to turn out, right? So you actually don't have faith. I don't care if you think you're a faith-based person or you are a faithful person. You actually don't have faith if you are in the habit of worrying all the time, because what you're saying is, well, I've got faith when it's convenient, but when I'm worrying, then I don't have faith that it's going to turn out or that I don't have a higher power helping me.
Or that you don't have trust in the plan of whatever your plan is.
Here's a quick exercise that everybody should do. If you set a timer for 10 minutes and got out a pen and a piece of paper and you wrote down every single thing, big and small, that you can remember from 2025 that you worried about. And this is why I say set a timer, because you're going to get through 5, 6 things and you're going to be like, oh, I don't remember anymore. But when you force yourself to keep writing until the timer goes off. You're going to see, from little baby things to great big worries, you're going to see maybe 100 worries that you worried about last year that never came true. That financial problem never happened. That disease you thought you had, you didn't have it. That thing that you thought was going to collapse didn't collapse. That economy you were worried about didn't, have the great big problems that you thought it was. Whatever your worries were, the job that you thought you were going to lose, you still have it. Write down all of the worries from 2025 for a 10-minute timer, and you're going to realize 99% of them did not come true. And then I want you to look and apply a value to the 99% of worries that did not come true. And I want you to say, okay, first of all, how much time and energy was wasted?
Yep.
Second of all, if I applied, I don't know, an average of maybe 15 minutes per worry, how much freaking time did you waste? And so there's a logical side and there's a woo side to why worrying is really harmful to your results when it comes to living a really good life, whether it's financial results, relationship results, whatever. I'm going to talk about the logical side. Lori can talk about the woo side of the energy of worrying. The logical side is this. If you spent 30 minutes worrying about something right now, and your mind was there, you weren't present, etc., that's 30 minutes you actually could have spent on the solution for whatever you're worrying about. That's 30 minutes you could have spent doing a post to find customers. That's 30 minutes you could have spent creating a business plan. That's 30 minutes you could have spent recording a podcast episode to attract more customers. That's 30 minutes you could have spent calling somebody for help. That's 30 minutes you could have spent, right? You get the point. You can spend that 30 minutes worrying and frozen and in inaction, or you can spend that 30 minutes, right? You catch, oh God, here I'm worrying. I got to shut it off right now and just take some kind of action that I think will lead towards solving whatever I'm worrying about. How much better off would you be if you did it every single time? That's the first piece of the logical side. Second piece of the logical side is this. When you spend your time worrying, when you're in the energy of worrying, and then you have to go and do that work anyways, like let's say you have to make some sales calls, how good do you think those sales calls are actually going to be? Mm-hmm. If you're making them from a unstable place of worrying, how do you think your energy is going to be on the call? How do you think your excitement's going to be on the call? How do you think your swagger, your confidence is? You're going to crumble the first moment that the sales call isn't going well. Versus if you go to the sales call full of confidence and swagger and everything else by pumping yourself up and not worrying about the worry, now you're going to be able to knock it out of the park. And now I can hear you saying it right now. Like, yeah, easy to say, Chris. I wouldn't be worrying if I could just turn it off. Mm-hmm. So I've got an exercise for you. I think this comes from AA. I don't know. I've never been, but I think this is where it comes from. It's called playing the movie to the end. Mm. And I've done this for more than a decade, and I love it. Whatever you're worrying about, you play that movie to the end as if it already happened. And I mean to the end of it, until the credits come up. So let's say you're worried about losing your house because you're worried about your finances. Okay, big deal. What if you do? What would happen next? Well, you'd probably go rent a place and it'd probably be in this part of town. You're like, oh, it's not so bad. But I'm worried about what people say. Okay, what would they say? Well, this one particular person, they'd say, haha, I knew it. Okay, big deal. Like, Does that person have any real bearing on your future outcome of it? No, I just don't want to hear them say it about me. Okay, would you actually really hear them, or would they say it behind your, they'd probably be behind my, so you actually wouldn't even hear them. It's like you play the movie to the end of every bad thing that could possibly happen, and every time you'll come to the conclusion, yeah, it kind of sucks, but it's not that bad.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I was just thinking with your exercise of writing everything down for a worrier, it's like, okay, yeah, but maybe some of them did happen. Okay, yes, some of your worst fears did happen. And I think that's a beautiful spot for you to say, but how could have that happened for me? Or how did that make me stronger? So those can be your two questions, because not everything feels like it's happening for you, especially if it feels pretty traumatic, or maybe you lost a loved one. And it's, okay, well, how could I take that and get better? Like, how could I take this and use this for something that could actually help people as well?
It reminds me of a quote that you and I saw yesterday. And that is, nothing is a loss if you're in it for the experience. Or maybe it said, everything is a win if you're in it for the experience.
Or the lesson.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. It's really good. So that's the logical side. Lori, what is the woo side about the energy of worrying? What does it cause?
Well, you've definitely mentioned it, because when you are in a place of anxiety and fear, you're in a place of lack. and you say completely different things to your customer. You say completely different things online. You have a very different energy about you. So I know that this is one of the most challenging things in the world to do because I work on it all of the time, you guys. Like Chris said, I'm more of a natural worrier. So this is something that I actually like wake up and consciously think about doing is getting into the energy of certainty. Because what happens, as an example, is if you're coming from a place of lack, and let's say you're selling your very intimate one-on-one coaching to someone, and if someone says to you, okay, well, convince me why I should be in this, and they just are not a fit, and you can feel it, you can't actually even fully help them in the way that you want. And you're like, but I need this money. I need this person so bad. So you spend all of this energy convincing them. And then maybe they end up coming in and it's your worst nightmare customer. Maybe you end up coaching them and they ask for a refund, or maybe they say, oh my God, that person couldn't help me at all. Or maybe it just energetically is like your worst nightmare because they want so much of your time that now you have zero peace. And so you're making bad decisions when you're in a place of lack. So the more that you can lean into certainty and not have contingent based certainty, not have contingent based faith, not have contingent based happy feelings. It's like actually really doing the deep, deep, deep work. And trust me, when I say deep, it is like sometimes reaching for the next best emotion feels like the most challenging thing that you have ever done in your entire life. But the work, when I say the work, it sounds woo, but it really means, okay, what do you need to do to get into a place of certainty, even when your bank account is low? What do you need to do to get into a place of certainty, even when you are way underneath that big goal that you have for the year? Like finding those things that you need to do, or the people you need to listen to, or the walk that you need to go on, or the big, big prayer that you need to pray, because we forget that, especially, faith-led people or people who believe in God, which I feel like is a lot of people who listen to this podcast. We forget that we are praying to a God that is able to, like, he's the sustainer of the universe, like creator of all things. And we're praying little prayers like, okay, please help me not to be so stressed. Give me the strength to get through this launch. Like, this is the sustainer of all things. I'm reading a book right now called Dangerous Prayers. And it's like, this is what he asks in the book. If all of your prayers came true in the last week, what would those prayers have moved? Would they have changed things for people? Would it have changed the lives of your customers? Would it have changed your life? Would it have completely helped somebody get through something, or helped hundreds of thousands of people? Or would you literally just be blessing your food? Would you literally just be asking for a little less stress? Are you praying safe prayers? And I just thought that was so correlated to what we're talking about today with faith and what we're believing. And if we're in lack, it's like the realization that people every single day, exactly like you, are creating miracles in their life. And Chris and I reach for this a lot on our walks. We're like, okay, remember that time? Remember that year where all of a sudden we were at this income and we leaped to that other income in a matter of what felt like months? Like it's the realization that even if you don't have this yet, you can borrow it from other people, which is why it's important to be around people who are also doing big things and are ahead of you.
I love what you just said about borrowing it from other people. So I've been doing all of these elite level mastermind interviews, right? This is interview season where we interview all of the incoming elite entrepreneur mastermind members that apply and want to be in it. And 1 out of every 3 interviews ends up being a fit. 2 out of 3 don't. But I get the world's greatest sample size of what people are worrying about. And the last 3 interviews I did, they all wanted exactly what you just said. They were looking for certainty through somebody else who's already done it before. In other words, they wanted to borrow that certainty from somebody else. I'll give you an example. One of the members I just interviewed for the elite level mastermind, she's a great fit because she's already making $1 million a month, not per year, a month in her coaching program. And it is dialed into a T. It is automated now, except she's launching a brand new book and a brand new podcast and has no idea how to do it. And she wants to borrow the path and the strategy and the certainty from someone who's already been there, done that at a successful level, because she has high expectations that everything she does is going to be as good as the business that she built, right? $1 million a month business. And so how do you do that? You go borrow the certainty, you borrow the plan from somebody else. Another person who just joined when I was interviewing him, he wanted certainty around a plan on how to get on more stages, leveraging a book that he just wrote. He already has a great business. He did 7 figures last year, but he said, I know how to run my business. I don't know how to get on stages. And I know that you know a lot of people in the speaking world. I'm joining because I want that certainty and that plan around how to get paid to get on those stages, how to leverage my book properly, how to leverage my message properly. And so these are examples of people that are worried about something, even though they're very high performers, and they're squashing the worry by getting certainty that you referenced through other people who can deliver it to them. And by the way, if you guys hear that and you're like, okay, that's what I'm worried about this, I'm worried about that in my business, whatever, I'm going to go borrow certainty from someone. Borrow it from us. Seriously, if you are earning over $500,000 this year in 2026, you have the right to apply for the elite level mastermind. Now it's over 2/3 sold out, so go quickly. But if you recognize yourself in those stories I just told, if you're a 7-figure earner, 8-figure earner, or heaven forbid, you're going to be the lowest earner in the room by being just over 500K a year. That's the best place for you to be, by the way. Hint, hint. That's like the ultimate hack, is always be the lowest earner in a room. You're going to have the fastest growth of everybody there. Then right now, hit pause and go to chrisharder.me/mastermind. Check out the page quick, fill out the app, and you and I will talk this week on Zoom to see if you're one of those 1 out of 3 great fits. And when I say 1 out of 3 people I talk to are a great fit, it's because we are curating a room. We're not selling a program. We're making sure that everything you need is in that room or one introduction away. And we do that by being like, oh, that's the right personality that she has. Oh, that's the right business that he has. Doesn't matter if it's the biggest or it's the smallest. It's about being that right fit where we know we can help you and we know that you'll help the room. So seriously, go to chrisharder.me/mastermind. Fill out the app. We'll talk this week. That's chrisharder.me.me/mastermind.
We're so grateful for you guys, and we will talk to you next week.
Thanks for listening. And if you loved this episode and know of someone else who is as successful as they are generous, please pass them on to me. It would mean the world to me if you help me get this cause and this message out to as many listeners as I can. So please, if you liked what you heard, it goes a long way if you take 30 seconds and leave me a 5-star review and share this with your friends. I'll be forever grateful. And until the next episode, cheers to your success.